Hey there YouTube! So today I am going to give you my TBR for ReadAthon coming up, and that is the Fall Into Fantasy ReadAthon. I found out about this from who else, but she might be Monica because apparently I'm obsessed. Notice me, senpai. This is a readathon that's kind of started by and hosted by Penguin Teen, and there's a bunch of like booktubers that are being the host of it, and I thought it was a fun readathon, one that fell into my schedule. I could probably do this, and that it incorporates my favorite genre, which is fantasy. There are a number of books that are being featured in this readathon where you can either read those books, or you can read one of them, or you can read none of them. I chose to read one of them. I found one that I felt like I would like, or it was something a little bit different than what I normally read, kind of inside the YA fantasy genre. So this readathon goes from November 18th to 25th, and there's a list of challenges that go along with this. I am not going to be doing all of the challenges, but I'm just going to be doing a few. I'm going to quickly read off all of the challenges, but it's read 4 books, start a new series, a book that's been on your TBR for too long, an LGBTQ fantasy, a diverse fantasy, a book with multiple point of views, a new fantasy, a sequel, and Booktube Recommended. So I am only going to be trying to read 4 books because I think that's my limit in a week. So I'm going to be fulfilling about 4 of these challenges. The first one is read 4 books, and here are the 4 books that I'm going to read. The first book that I'm going to read is one of the books that's being promoted by Penguin Teen for this readathon, and that is Beasts Made of Night by, I'm going to ruin this name and I feel so bad about it, but it's Tochi Oyambuchi, I think. Okay, so I'm going to read the first paragraph of the synopsis because it's really difficult for me to explain this because I really don't know that much about it. It has a pretty cover and it sounded pretty interesting. But it says, in the walled city of Kos, purity is exalted, but cleansing wrongdoings comes at a cost. Corrupt mages can magically extract sin from a sinner in the form of sin beasts. Lethal creatures spawn from the feelings of guilt. Young sin eaters known as Aki are indentured by the mages to slay the beasts. So Taj, the main character, he is, I guess, one of these sin eaters. Yeah, one of these Aki, and it's kind of him. I mean, he goes on an adventure with it. I don't really want to know too much about it because I like to be surprised. There are 2 things about this book that are different than things that I normally read. One is that the protagonist is male. Most of the books that I read have female protagonists, which is great, and I am all about that, but you know, it's a little bit different than what I normally read. So there's that. Also, number 2 is that this is a Nigerian-based fantasy, so I don't really read much, I think, quote-unquote diverse fantasy. A lot of what I read is written by like white authors featuring like white characters. My reading could do with a little bit of diversity, so I think this is a good place to start. It's also not super long. I think it's like just under 300 pages, which is like perfect. So I'm really excited about this. It seems kind of like a really interesting, dark sort of fantasy book, and I can't wait to read it. This fulfills the challenge of like 1, it's not that it's a challenge, but 1, it's one of the featured books in the readathon, and it is a diverse fantasy. This next book can fulfill 2 challenges. It is start a new series and Booktube Recommended, and that book is going to be The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. And this is a book that I've been hearing about for so long, and I have been wanting to read this for so long. So everybody on Booktube seems to love it. It seems it's super popular, and it seems like right up my alley. It's kind of like a sleepy fantasy mysterious thing. So yeah, I'm excited to try to read The Raven Boys. The next book that I'm going to read fulfills the challenge of a book that has been on your TBR for too long, and that is going to be Green Witch by Susan Cooper. So this is the 3rd book in the Dark is Rising sequence, a book series that I adore but have never finished. I started reading it as a 6th grader and never got to the end of it. I think I only got through the first 2 books, but I love them and I've always wanted to read the rest of them. Yeah, so this is a sequel of sorts, and it's just been on my TBR for way too long. And yeah, it's very short, so I'm excited about that. Perfect for a readathon. This is a series that is rooted in so much Arthurian legend and so much British folklore, and it's like perfect for like, it just feels like a like winter rainy day. It's so good. I love it so much. The first 2 books are great. I can't wait. I have very high hopes for the rest of the series, so I can't wait to read Greenwich. The last book I'm going to read is going to fulfill the challenge of read a new fantasy, and I'm going to read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. So I know this book came out a while ago, but you know, it's relatively new, and I think like it's one of the newer fantasy series that I have on my shelf. So I'm really excited to read this. I've heard pretty good things about this, so I'm excited to kind of find out what all the hype is about. That is my TBR for the Fall Into Fantasy ReadAthon. Let me know if you're participating. I'm going to be talking about this on Twitter using the hashtag, you know, all that fun ReadAthon stuff. See how I do with this readathon, because I am not great at readathons. I'm like really good for like the first day, and then the rest of it is just like gets thrown off. So we're gonna see how well I can stick to this readathon. Hopefully I'll be able to like vlog it, because I guess that's the thing that people do now. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more bookish and nerdy content from me. That's all I've got for you guys today. I'm Chrissy Lou. Till next time, matane!